倒数啊。
好。Hello and welcome to CGTN. This is Real Time China. I'm Xinmeng.
I am Xinchen.
Well, at the end of the fifth day of our trip, we arrived in Wuhan City in Hubei province. It's the capital city of Hubei and also the most populous city in central China.
Spot and for culture and food as well. Yeah. So basically, we are halfway through our journey, right? Our 10-day ride from Beijing to Shenzhen on a bus.
Right.
How do you like it so far?
Well, for me, so just a brief introduction to our audience about what this is all about. Real Time China is a special program of CGTN to mark the 40th anniversary of China's reform and opening up. So we toured around a lot of cities that have played a crucial role in China's reform and opening up processes. So we went to Hebei, Tianjin, and yesterday we were in Henan province, and now today we are here in Hubei province.
Yes.
So for me, this is really like a very good opportunity and an eye-opening, I'd say, experience for me.
This is my first ever and the longest trip that I've ever been to, in fact.
Yeah. So because we toured not only the big cities like Beijing and Tianjin, we also went to small towns in traditional villages like Yangliuqing, and we experienced the traditional folk art, the New Year painting culture there. Yeah, and we also went to a new emerging place like Xiongan New area. So most of the places I've never been to before, and actually, this is my first time here in Wuhan, and there are so many things to see.
Definitely. I mean, speaking of Wuhan, is now playing an increasing and crucial role in China's economy, and is actually along the Belt and Road Initiative, and now it is home to the world's largest optical fiber producer, and now is also a tech hub, like producing chips and etc. But
also, it's a transportation hub.
Yeah, it is.
Often known as the Chicago in China because there are so many dozens of railways, expressways, and roads passing through the city.
But still, there is a deep root in ancient Chinese history, for example. So what's behind us?
Well, this is an absolute must-see place in Wuhan. The Yellow Crane River.
Is a landmark
the Yellow
here.
Crane Tower.
Yellow Crane Tower on the banks of Yangtze River. So basically, right here, this tower is newly built and reconstructed about 4 decades ago. So it's about the same age as China's.
So there are 5 floors.
Yes, and the first floor and to the fourth floor are open to tourists.
Careful.
But it's not that too far from the original site. It's about 1 kilometer. But as you have mentioned, this is also my first time visiting this tower.
Let's find an expert who can tell us more details. Hi.
Hi.
So this is Liu Ying, our expert here at the Yellow Crane Tower. Can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi everyone. I'm an English teacher with Wuhan University, and I volunteer for almost 2 years now. So mostly I will introduce to the tourists the history of Yellow Crane Tower and also the poems that written for Yellow Crane Tower.
I bet there are a lot of international tourists visiting this tower.
Yes, I do introduce things to them and they love it.
So as we enter into the first level, this hall, that we have this gigantic picture. So what can you tell us about these paintings?
What is this about?
So you can see 3 things here. On the top, you can see that Taoist priest with on the crane's back. So this is actually about a legend of Yellow Crane Tower. When there was this owner of a restaurant, he saved this Taoist priest in heavy snow who almost frozen to death. And to show his gratitude, so this priest drew a picture of crane with the tangerine peel, which appears to be yellow. That's the reason why we call it yellow crane, because we all know that there's no yellow crane in the real world. So and there's a magic of this crane. When you clap hands, the crane will came to life and step down on the ground and sing and dance.
Wow.
So because of this, so all the people and tourists, they came flood into into his restaurant to enjoy this performance. That's how he made the owner of the restaurant made a fortune. And 10 years later, this priest came back and played music with the flute. And then the crane came to life again and flew away. So let's see, in the middle part of the mural, then you can see that's the Yellow Crane Tower in the shape of a Qing Dynasty, which is in
it looks slightly different from what we saw today.
Yes, yeah, but it looks probably a little familiar to you because the present one constructed in 1985, the designer actually probably borrowed some ideas, inspired by it. So that's the Yellow Crane, and the people here there seems like they realize that this Taoist priest is not just any priest. He was one of the 8 immortals, Taoist immortals. So they worship this Taoist priest. So that's the scene, that how they drink and sing and dance to celebrate and worship him. So, and there's one more thing there. See the plum trees over there. So that yellow blossoms of plum trees, this is a symbol of Wuhan, because plum blossoms is the city flower, the flower of a Wuhan city. So that's the
flower.
3 things I said.
And
that you can see.
I'd also say this Yellow Crane Tower is also a symbol of Wuhan. Yeah, the most famous ones.
It's one of the biggest landmarks, and it's even in China, and it's one of the 3 like greatest towers in Jiangnan, in the south of Yangtze River,
and also one of the 4 great towers
across China. So right here on this board, and we have one line in Chinese. It's called 西人已乘黄鹤去. So it's actually a sentence from one of the old poems written by one of the poets from the Tang Dynasty. It's about 500 years ago. So a lot of poets actually came to this tower and find inspiration, right?
Right.
Yes, yeah. I guess the reason why this Yellow Crane Tower can be so famous and in history this tower has been destroyed many times and built and rebuilt many times. I guess the reason is sometimes you have this symbol, the image in your mind, so people always worship this place, and so that's the reason why we never forget it. And the poems written for it dated back to the earliest record would be dated back to maybe over 1,000 years. And the most famous one is from a poet from Tang Dynasty called Cui Hao, named Cui Hao. Yeah. So this 西人已乘黄鹤, so this 西人 actually refers to the Taoist immortal I mentioned earlier.
So as you have mentioned, like some of the poems like inspired by this tower can be traced back to over 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago.
So basically, the history of the tower can be traced back then, right? I believe it's like Western Wu when Sun Quan was an emperor.
So it dated back to the period in history called 3 Kingdoms. So one of the kingdom is Wu kingdom, and the king Sun Quan, he want to keep an eye on the enemies across Yangtze River. So that's why he built up this tower as a watch spot actually. But later when they all becomes when there's no need for any military purposes, so because of the view here, so it becomes a place that people can enjoy the view, and also sometimes they see off friends because it's by the Yangtze River. So sometimes people will take a maybe boat trip, so and also enjoy maybe the happy time together, have some drinks. So it becomes a place, and till Tang Dynasty, and it becomes a really famous place. It becomes a place that you have to maybe have a drink or and enjoy the view here. Otherwise, it's like nothing can you really enjoy this place as this city. Yeah.
So I believe the view actually on the top of the tower is spectacular. Shall we actually?
Yeah, shall we
go up to? I mean, we cannot go to the 5th floor at this moment. We're going to go to the 4th floor.
The 4th floor,
which is the highest.
The highest for tourists.
Right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to find the elevator. As we have mentioned, this tower is actually newly built about near 4 decades ago. So actually, it's pretty modern. It has elevators in it.
Is it this way?
Yeah, this way.
Okay.
And also, we have this kind of Chinese, very super Chinese art pieces.
Yeah, everything here is related to the cranes.
Yeah.
So let's go into the.
And I believe our signals will drop for a few seconds, I guess.
Yeah, so stay tuned with us. We'll see you on the 4th floor. Let's press 4.
Yeah.
Of the whole
Wuhan city is quite modern right now, right?
Yes, yeah.
There, that's the young.
Videoed this, but unfortunately we didn't.
But we have this new one. Anyways,
yeah, we have this new one. So I actually heard some music going on. So let's go check out.
So do we always have like performances here up on the top?
It's not on a daily basis, but usually when there's important occasions, there will be performance like this.
And this is called the zheng, I believe.
This is the zheng in Chinese. 古筝 is a traditional instrument in China. Let's find an expert here. Hi， 您好，您跟我们先介绍一下您自己吧。
您好，我叫曹玉辉，是一个摄影师。
So Mr. Cao,你是跟他们这个小乐队是一起来的？
对，因为我们是一个乐团的。
So he's with the band. 你能告诉我们，就说他们现在在？
这首曲子呢是古筝的一个传统代表作品之一，它描绘出的是一幅中国人的农民们的那个丰收、欢天喜地的一幅庆丰收的形象，然后呢，也刻画出了农民们 泼辣、豪爽、正直的形象。
So what's the name for this piece？ 就是我们叫什么？
这个曲子叫做《汉江韵》。
It's called Han River Rhythm.
Han River Rhythm, Han Jiang Yun in Chinese. So this is to celebrate the harvest, to show the happiness, the happy mood.
And harvest, and of course to show people's like their energy and etc. Yeah.
Yes, it's a classic work of the guzheng instrument.
I believe you can play guzheng, right?
Yeah, when I was young. Yeah. So I learned to play guzheng in high school and middle school. I played it for about 4 years. Yeah. They are professionals. 它那个是什么乐器？
这是黑弹梆子，一个河南的黑弹梆子，这个乐器叫做。然后这个黑弹梆子与古筝的结合呢，是这一首曲子一个传统的民乐演奏方式的一次创新的尝试，利用到这个打击乐器。
So the gentleman the only gentleman in the band actually is playing something called bang, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's actually from Henan province.
Right.
So
because Hubei province and Henan province are very close to each other.
Yeah, they're next to each other actually.
Yeah.
They border.
Right. So the combination of these two instruments is the special part of this song.
I think they're wrapping up.
Yeah. Let's give the camera to them.
They're going to wrap up the piece very soon.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the
fantastic voice
of the city, right? The Wuhan city. It looks so amazing right here. Just because you cannot believe like Wuhan is such a historic city, but right now it's modern, and he's one of as much has mentioned before is one of the international hubs right now.
Right,
and that's very crucial for the Belt and Road initiative, and it also is an exemplar for China's opening and reform. And I believe there are now a tech center, right? There are actually increasing numbers of tech firms in the city.
Yes, yeah. Have you ever heard of the optical valley? So that's where we'll attract all the graduates from college, universities. They stayed in Wuhan. You know, in the past they will go to Beijing or Shanghai, places like that. But now they prefer staying here. I guess that's because of this high tech thing, and they look for some development in their career. So this is a better place for them.
Right, it's a better place for them because the city is also developing.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Wuhan is one of examples of China, developing China, how it blends like old traditions.
Yeah, we have traditional stuff, and also we have this modern development here.
And I believe tomorrow that we're going to visit Changsha.
Changsha?
And also
it's a traditional place.
And also but traditional but also modern.
Yes.
And also smaller places like villages around it. And
Shaoshanchong?
Yes.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll go there. And I think that's pretty much here for our tour, our night tour at Yellow Crane Tower.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us. And thank you so much for your introduction.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
I think I will leave our viewers to this great view of the Wuhan Yangtze River Bridge.
Yes, so tomorrow we'll go to Hunan province, from Hubei to Hunan province. Stay tuned with us, follow CGTN on all the social media platforms, if you have any questions, you have any comments, let us know and follow our trip on the road. We'll provide you a panoramic view of China. I'll see you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.